I love Bloodborne. If someone were to ask me on any day of any year of every millennia, I would say Bloodborne was my favourite game. And it always will be, because Bloodborne is truly an experience that I will never forget. And it's one of the best experience gaming has to offer. It's been 9.5 years since Bloodborne released, and within that time there has been a plethora of videos and content, guides, deep dives, critiques, reviews, builds, you name it, there has been content on this game. But in today's video, I have something that has not been talked about, that has not been discussed. In today's video, I ask that you please forget everything you know about the themes and meanings behind Bloodborne. I'm not saying to forget everything that's been discovered over the last 9.5 years. That's bloody stupid. I'm not even remotely saying that. What I'm saying is you need to try and forget what you think the themes of Bloodborne are. Yes, there's some obvious inspirations, but there's another inspiration that really drives a lot of Bloodborne. If you've watched even the slightest bit of the channel, you'll know at the end of my videos, every single one in fact, I say, may you find your worth in the waking world. And it's a quote that I've loved ever since I first heard it. But it wasn't until recently I started questioning the meaning behind may you find your worth in the waking world. And it's led me down this rabbit hole that I could never have fathomed. The whole game of Bloodborne is a representation of the human mind. The hunter's dream and the nightmare realm represent the subconscious elements. The waking world represents the conscious elements. To start with the hunter's dream is quite literally, as the title suggests, a dream. It's a pocket reality which is blissfully ignorant and separated from the turmoil that exists within Yharnam, the turmoil of our character's mind, the hunter. And within this hunter's dream exists two companions, the doll and German. These two companions offer aid and kindness in a brutal and depressing world that is reality. And that is what it's meant to represent. The hunter's dream is this false, naive version of the world. The waking world is the tough and rough turmoil that is reality. Not to mention the hunter's dream literally sits in an island on top of a cloud. Your head is quite literally in the clouds. Have you ever heard of that saying? Your head in the clouds means the ignorance. Your head's in the clouds, you're oblivious to what's around you. It's just like that. That is what Miyazaki is trying to hint at the scenery. It's always confused me, but now I think I get it. In the vast expanse of this hunter's mind, we find the hunter's dream, a safe place created by the trauma that he's enduring day by day, a safe haven to protect his mind from the turmoil. You might be wondering, how do things in the hunter's dream affect things outside the hunter's dream? And my answer to you would be simple. This whole theme is in fact simply a metaphor. It's not actually what the story is. The story is about great ones, pale blood, the scourge of beasts. This metaphor though, this symbol of life, is Bloodborne. All of these things culminate together to create this one metaphor. And it is truly beautiful how masterfully this has been crafted and weaved. Hopefully I explained that bit semi-well. If I didn't, I'm really sorry. If you need more clarification, please comment it down in the comments and I will try my best to help you understand. And just so you know, the video's not done yet. There's still a lot we need to cover, and there is another secret of the hunter's dream to do with this that I am going to be talking about later in the video, so stay tuned. If you've been paying attention, or you've played Bloodborne, then you'll know that the hunter's dream isn't the only subconscious realm that exists within Bloodborne. There is also the nightmares. The nightmares are, in contrast to the hunter's dream, nightmarish, and this again leads back into my previous point. Bloodborne is about the human mind. The nightmares are when the subconscious mind drifts and nightmares arrive. We all have them, or at least most of us do. They're not pleasant, and this is reflected within Bloodborne with the horrifying sights we see. Our brain uses memories of the past to create dreams and nightmares alike, and we see this in the hunter's nightmare. It's not necessarily our hunter's nightmare, but it is certainly someone's, and the people we find inside tell us all we need to know.
But beware, secrets are secrets for a reason, and some do not wish to see them uncovered, especially when the secrets are particularly unseemly.
This is in fact the old hunter's nightmare. The nightmare of those that slew and slaughtered the fishing village. The same village that called upon the Mother Cos, a great one, and pleaded with her to curse these fiends forever. And that's where most content creators and most people stop talking about this. They stop to consider the future and the timeline that we don't fully know after the cursing. What happened? What occurred? What was the reasoning? What is the hunter's nightmare? How did it happen? There's so many questions that so many people just don't want to try and answer. And I'm going to try that. Have you ever maybe considered the fact that the hunter's nightmare wasn't necessarily created by Cos, but was just amplified? It's a nightmare after all, an invention of the human mind. What if it's actually just simply someone's nightmare? Perhaps it was the nightmare of Lawrence. He was, in fact, very high up in the church and had a lot of influence. Or maybe it was someone who was directly involved, perhaps some kind of general in this scientific operation in the fishing hamlet. If this was Lawrence, it also makes sense why the starting area of the Hunter's Nightmare, which is Cathedral Ward, is so wrong. There's so many parts of it that are just made up, does not have the memories to back up this version, so we get this twisted Cathedral Ward. It also proves the fact that this wasn't actually physically created by Cos, because Cos is all powerful. The Great Ones are omnipotent. They know everything, they are everything. Surely, if they're this omnipotent being that is all powerful, surely they'd be able to go and see the layout. But no, this layout is completely off. There's just massive rocks that are just slid in, whole new bits that we haven't ever seen. It doesn't make much sense unless you consider the fact that this is a human's dream, a human's nightmare, not the creation, of course. I do agree that the hunter's dream is our dream, but the hunter's nightmare certainly isn't, and is disconnected from us. Of course we can visit it, but we are not trapped there like the rest. And finally, we're getting on to the part I talked about earlier. If you have got this far, thank you so much. If you're enjoying the video, please consider leaving a like and subscribe, as it greatly helps the channel. If you don't enjoy the video, please, I'm open to constructive criticism. Don't be a dick about it, but just let me know some constructive criticism so I can improve for the next one, because all I want to do is talk about my favourite games, which are from Softwares, and make quality content that people are genuinely enjoying. The phrase, "may you find your worth in the waking world," has so much meaning. The game is telling you to find your worth in reality. You come back to the dream every single time, broken, ailing, suffering from this endless night. And yet every single time you leave, the doll tells you to find your worth in the waking world, to find yourself, to find your meaning in a reality that may be dire and may be dark, but that is what the world is. The world is not a happy place, the world is not a kind place, but within this darkness, peace and a worth and a purpose can be found. We see this at the end of the game. The hunter finally lets go of this hunter's dream and allows himself to be slew by Gehrman, waking under the morning sun. And while most people will say this is the false ending, it's not right, it's not true, I think this is the true ending. You awake under the morning sun. Of course, adversaries will face our hunter further in life, but the darkness and his nightmare has come to an end, and hopefully a brighter future can emerge from this. Perhaps now the hunter may find his worth in the waking world. The same could be said for us. One day we will awake under the morning sun, our nightmare at an end. The turmoil that exists in most of our lives will end, and we will one day find our worth in the waking world, for nothing is forever, and the end of the night is nigh. In conclusion, Bloodborne is not just about eldritch abominations, it's not just about rich and enticing stories, it's not just about the scourge of beasts. It's about the human mind and the lives that humans live. It shows the nitty-gritty elements that aren't talked about as much, but it also shows us and teaches us all an important lesson, that our troubles won't last forever, and that we will all one day awake under the morning sun and find our worth in the waking world. I really do hope to see you all in the next one, and yeah, I won't hold you any longer. May you find your worth in the waking world. Goodbye everyone.